Ladies and gentlemen, we all face moments when life seems to press us from every side. Deadlines loom, expectations rise, and challenges seem unrelenting. It's in these moments of pressure that our true potential is revealed. Just as heat and time transform coal into a diamond, pressure is often the tool that brings out the best in us. Pressure is often viewed as something to avoid, something that makes life harder and creates unnecessary stress. But if you take a closer look, pressure is one of life's most transformative forces. It has the power to shape us, refine us, and strengthen us in ways we can't always imagine. Consider how diamonds are formed. They begin as ordinary pieces of carbon buried deep beneath the Earth's surface. But under intense heat and pressure, something incredible happens. Over time, those conditions transform the carbon into a diamond, one of the most valuable and resilient materials in the world. In much the same way, the pressures we face in life serve to mold and refine us into stronger, more capable versions of ourselves. When you feel pressure, it's a sign that you're being stretched. And being stretched is never comfortable. It can feel overwhelming at times, as though the weight of expectations, deadlines, or challenges might crush you. But the truth is, pressure doesn't exist to break you. It exists to build you. Think about the challenges you faced in the past. Were they easy in the moment? Probably not. But didn't they teach you something? Didn't they push you to discover strengths and abilities you didn't know you had? That's the power of pressure. It forces you to dig deep and tap into reservoirs of potential that might have otherwise remained dormant. When we're under pressure, we're often forced to make decisions quickly, to adapt, to innovate, and to push past our comfort zones. These are not things we do naturally in times of ease. Comfort doesn't demand growth, pressure does. A life without pressure might seem appealing at first, but imagine what it would look like. It would be stagnant. There would be no drive to improve, no motivation to push past limitations, and no urgency to pursue goals. It's the pressure that adds urgency and purpose to our actions, and that urgency often propels us to achieve things we never thought possible. Pressure also teaches us resilience. Every time you face a difficult situation and come out on the other side, you're building a foundation of strength that prepares you for the next challenge. Life is not about avoiding challenges, it's about becoming the kind of person who can handle them. Each time you overcome pressure, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagine. A perspective doesn't sell, emotion doesn't hurt. It is more powerful. In the path to overcome pressure, you build the mind. You start to develop a sense of confidence, not because life is easy, but because you've proven to yourself that you can handle what's hard. This confidence becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. The more you rise to meet the pressures in your life, the more prepared you are for the next challenge. There's another beautiful aspect of pressure. It brings clarity. When life feels overwhelming, pressure forces you to prioritize what truly matters. It's in these moments that we learn to focus on what's important and let go of what's not. It's easy to get distracted by things that don't contribute to our growth or success when everything feels manageable. But when pressure mounts, it demands focus. You start to see clearly what needs your energy and what doesn't. In this way, pressure doesn't just build strength, it sharpens your vision and helps you make better decisions. Pressure also pushes us to be creative. When everything seems to be closing in, we often find solutions we wouldn't have considered otherwise. It's in the moments of greatest stress that some of the world's greatest breakthroughs have occurred. People find ways to innovate, to overcome, and to adapt when they're under pressure. The human mind is incredibly resourceful, but often it takes a challenge, a force pressing against us to unlock its full potential. It's also worth noting that pressure connects us to others. When we're facing challenges, we often reach out for support, advice, or collaboration. These moments of connection can strengthen relationships, build trust, and create shared experiences that bring people closer together. Pressure has a way of uniting people, reminding us that we don't have to face challenges alone. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a team, the bonds formed under pressure are often some of the strongest and most enduring. Lastly, pressure teaches us gratitude. When we come through a challenging season, we often gain a deeper appreciation for the journey and the growth it brought. We start to see the value in the struggle, recognizing that it was necessary for our development. Without pressure, we wouldn't have the opportunity to experience this kind of growth, nor would we fully appreciate the victories that come from enduring it. It's the challenges we overcome that make the successes so much sweeter. So while pressure might feel uncomfortable in the moment, it's important to remember that it serves a greater purpose. It's shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what's next. Every time you face pressure, you have a choice. You can let it overwhelm you, or you can embrace it as an opportunity to grow. And when you choose the latter, you'll find that the very thing you once feared becomes the thing that propels you forward. Pressure is often viewed as something to avoid, something that makes life harder and creates unnecessary stress. But if you take a closer look, pressure is one of life's most transformative forces. It has the power to shape us, refine us, and strengthen us in ways we can't always imagine. Consider how diamonds are formed. They begin as ordinary pieces of carbon buried deep beneath the Earth's surface. But under intense heat and pressure, something incredible happens. Over time, those conditions transform the carbon into a diamond, one of the most valuable and resilient materials in the world. In much the same way, the pressures we face in life serve to mold and refine us into stronger, more capable versions of ourselves. When you feel pressure, it's a sign that you're being stretched. And being stretched is never comfortable. It can feel overwhelming at times, as though the weight of expectations, deadlines, or challenges might crush you. But the truth is, pressure doesn't exist to break you. It exists to build you. Think about the challenges you faced in the past. Were they easy in the moment? Probably not. But didn't they teach you something? Didn't they push you to discover strengths and abilities you didn't know you had? That's the power of pressure. It forces you to dig deep and tap into reservoirs of potential that might have otherwise remained dormant. When we're under pressure, we're often forced to make decisions quickly, to adapt, to innovate, and to push past our comfort zones. These are not things we do naturally in times of ease. Comfort doesn't demand growth, pressure does. A life without pressure might seem appealing at first, but imagine what it would look like. It would be stagnant. There would be no drive to improve, no motivation to push past limitations, and no urgency to pursue goals. It's the pressure that adds urgency and purpose to our actions, and that urgency often propels us to achieve things we never thought possible. Pressure also teaches us resilience. Every time you face a difficult situation and come out on the other side, you're building a foundation of strength that prepares you for the next challenge. Life is not about avoiding challenges. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle them. Each time you overcome pressure, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagine. You start to develop a sense of confidence, not because life is easy, but because you've proven to yourself that you can handle what's hard. This confidence becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. The more you rise to meet the pressures in your life, the more prepared you are for the next challenge. There's another beautiful aspect of pressure. It brings clarity. When life feels overwhelming, pressure forces you to prioritize what truly matters. It's in these moments that we learn to focus on what's important and let go of what's not. It's easy to get distracted by things that don't contribute to our growth or success when everything feels manageable. But when pressure mounts, it demands focus. You start to see clearly what needs your energy and what doesn't. In this way, pressure doesn't just build strength, it sharpens your vision and helps you make better decisions. Pressure also pushes us to be creative. When everything seems to be closing in, we often find solutions we wouldn't have considered otherwise. It's in the moments of greatest stress that some of the world's greatest breakthroughs have occurred. People find ways to innovate, to overcome, and to adapt when they're under pressure. The human mind is incredibly resourceful, but often it takes a challenge, a force pressing against us to unlock its full potential. It's also worth noting that pressure connects us to others. When we're facing challenges, we often reach out for support, advice, or collaboration. These moments of connection can strengthen relationships, build trust, and create shared experiences that bring people closer together. Pressure has a way of uniting people, reminding us that we don't have to face challenges alone. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a team, the bonds formed under pressure are often some of the strongest and most enduring. Lastly, pressure teaches us gratitude When we come through a challenging season, we often gain a deeper appreciation for the journey and the growth it brought. We start to see the value in the struggle, recognizing that it was necessary for our development. Without pressure, we wouldn't have the opportunity to experience this kind of growth, nor would we fully appreciate the victories that come from enduring it. It's the challenges we overcome that make the successes so much sweeter. So while pressure might feel uncomfortable in the moment, it's important to remember that it serves a greater purpose. It's shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what's next. Every time you face pressure, you have a choice. You can let it overwhelm you, or you can embrace it as an opportunity to grow. And when you choose the latter, you'll find that the very thing you once feared becomes the thing that propels you forward. The way we view life, especially during challenging times, is one of the most powerful tools we have for shape. Perspective is not just a passive reflection of the world around us. It is an active force that determines how we interpret events, react to them, and ultimately grow from them. When you shift your perspective, even slightly, it can unlock possibilities and opportunities that you might have otherwise overlooked. What may seem like an insurmountable obstacle can become a stepping stone when viewed through the right lens. Progress is less about the circumstances we face and more about how we choose to see and respond to those circumstances. Perspective is a choice, and it often dictates our level of success. Two people can face the exact same challenge but have vastly different outcomes based on their outlook. One person might see a setback as a failure and stop trying, while another sees it as a lesson and an opportunity to improve. That small shift in how you interpret events can make all the difference. Life is not just about what happens to you, but about how you perceive what happens to you. Every challenge carries within it the seed of growth, but you can only unlock it if you're willing to look at the situation differently. Your perspective shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts influence your actions. If you see a problem as an unsolvable barrier, you're unlikely to put in the effort to overcome it. On the other hand, if you view it as a temporary challenge with a solution waiting to be discovered, you'll approach it with creativity, determination, and hope. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's about training your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. When you choose to see difficulties as opportunities for growth, you begin to see progress, even in the midst of adversity. Perspective also determines how you interpret failure. Many people fear failure, seeing it as a definitive end or proof of inadequacy. But failure is often one of life's greatest teachers. It provides valuable feedback, highlighting areas where you can improve and giving you the chance to refine your approach. When you view failure as a natural part of progress, it loses its power to discourage you. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone to success. Every successful person has faced failure at some point, but what set them apart was their perspective. They didn't see failure as the end. They saw it as a necessary part of their journey. Another key aspect of perspective is gratitude. When you choose to focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your entire mindset shifts. Gratitude allows you to see the good in your life, even when things aren't going perfectly. So, it's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong or what you haven't achieved yet, but taking a moment to appreciate the progress you've already made can inspire you to keep moving forward. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means acknowledging the positives that coexist with them. This shift in focus can energize you, reminding you that you're capable of overcoming obstacles because you've done it before. Perspective also helps you maintain patience during difficult seasons. Progress is rarely immediate. It often comes slowly, requiring consistent effort over time. If you focus only on the end goal, the journey can feel frustrating and overwhelming. But when you shift your perspective to appreciate the process, you find purpose in the small steps you're taking. Progress isn't always about big leaps. Sometimes it's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when it feels like you're not moving fast enough. A positive perspective reminds you that growth is happening, even if it's not immediately visible. Another important element of perspective is how you view the opinions and judgments of others. It's easy to get discouraged by criticism or doubt. But when you shift your focus inward, you realize that progress is about your journey, not someone else's expectations. Perspective helps you filter out the noise and stay true to your goals. It reminds you that other people's opinions don't define your worth or your potential. When you stop worrying about what others think, you free yourself to focus fully on what truly matters, your own growth and success. Perspective also allows you to see the bigger picture. It's easy to get stuck in the moment, overwhelmed by a single setback or challenge. But when you take a step back and look at the broader context, you often realize that what feels huge right now is just a small part of your journey. This shift in perspective can reduce stress and help you approach challenges with a calmer, more focused mindset. Progress isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about learning to navigate them with resilience and clarity. Ultimately, perspective is a tool that allows you to turn challenges into opportunities, failures into lessons, and obstacles into stepping stones. It's not about denying the difficulties of life, but about choosing to see the possibilities within them. When you actively shape your perspective, you're not just reacting to life, you're taking control of your narrative. And that is where true progress begins. When life feels overwhelming, it's easy to freeze under the weight of stress. The sheer magnitude of everything you need to do can make progress seem impossible. It's in these moments that the concept of small steps becomes invaluable. Taking small, deliberate actions may seem insignificant at first, but it is often the most practical and effective way to move forward under stress. Progress is not about how fast you move or how much you accomplish all at once. It's about consistency and the willingness to keep going no matter how small the steps may be. Stress can cloud your judgment and make problems seem larger than they actually are. It's a natural reaction to feel paralyzed when faced with too much at once. But the truth is, you don't have to solve everything in a single moment. Instead, break down what you're facing into manageable pieces. When you focus on completing just one small task, you not only reduce the immediate burden, but also build momentum that carries you forward. Each small step taken under stress is a victory in itself because it keeps you from stagnating. The beauty of taking small steps lies in the sense of control it restores. Stress often makes you feel powerless, as though circumstances are spiraling beyond your grasp. By focusing on small, achievable actions, you regain a sense of agency. It can be as simple as writing down your priorities, making a phone call, or completing a single task. These actions may not seem groundbreaking, but they create a sense of accomplishment. That feeling of progress, no matter how minor, can lift you out of the paralysis that stress often causes. Small steps also allow you to build confidence in difficult times. When you're overwhelmed, it's easy to doubt your abilities and feel incapable of handling what lies ahead. But every small success reminds you that you're capable of making progress, even under challenging circumstances. Confidence doesn't always come from big wins. It often grows from the quiet, consistent effort of showing up and doing what you can. As you accumulate these small victories, your belief in yourself strengthens, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges in the future. Stress has a way of narrowing your focus, making you feel like there's only one big problem to solve and it must be solved immediately. But small steps encourage you to think incrementally. Instead of looking at the overwhelming entirety of what's ahead, you begin to focus on what you can do right now, in this moment. That shift in perspective reduces the pressure you place on yourself and helps you stay present. It's no longer about conquering a mountain in one giant leap, but about taking it one step at a time. Another benefit of small steps is that they create habits of progress. Even in the midst of stress, when you train yourself to take consistent small actions, you're laying the foundation for long-term success. Habits are built on repetition, not perfection. Each time you take a small step, you're reinforcing a pattern of behavior that becomes easier to sustain over time. These habits eventually lead to significant progress, often without you realizing it. What once felt impossible begins to feel manageable, all because you committed to small, steady efforts. Stress can also make you feel isolated, as though you're the only one carrying a heavy load. But small steps often reveal opportunities to involve others. Whether it's asking for advice, delegating a task, or seeking emotional support, reaching out is a small but meaningful step that lightens your burden. Collaboration not only eases your stress, but also reminds you that you're not alone. Progress is often a team effort, and taking small steps together can create a sense of shared purpose and encouragement. When you take small steps, you also create room for reflection. Stress often drives people to rush through their tasks, but slowing down to focus on one step at a time gives you a chance to evaluate what's working and what's not. This intentionality helps you make better decisions moving forward. It's not just about getting things done, it's about doing them in a way that aligns with your goals and values. Taking the time to reflect on your small progress ensures that your efforts are meaningful and not wasted on unproductive tasks. Finally, small steps remind you to celebrate along the way. Under stress, it's tempting to dismiss your progress, thinking it's too little or not enough. But acknowledging your efforts, no matter how small, reinforces your determination. Each small win is a building block that contributes to the larger goal. When you take the time to recognize and celebrate those wins, you shift your mindset from one of self-criticism to one of self-encouragement. That positive reinforcement motivates you to keep going, even when the road ahead feels daunting. In moments of stress, the key to progress is not in grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs, but in the quiet, steady commitment to taking small steps. It's about showing up, doing what you can, and trusting that every little bit adds up. Over time, those small actions compound, turning what once felt overwhelming into something manageable. And with each step, you remind yourself that progress is possible, even under pressure. Faith in the process is one of the most powerful mindsets you can cultivate in life. It's the belief that even when the path is uncertain and the results aren't immediate, the effort you're putting in is leading to something worthwhile. In a world that often celebrates instant gratification, trusting the process requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. It's not about blind optimism or ignoring challenges, but about understanding that growth, success, and transformation take time. Every step you take, no matter how small or difficult, contributes to the bigger picture, even if you can't see it in the moment. There's a rhythm to progress that can't be rushed. Just like seeds take time to grow beneath the soil before sprouting into the light, many of life's greatest achievements require unseen preparation. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, nurture it, and trust that in time it will break through the surface. The same principle applies to your efforts. There will be seasons of life where it feels like nothing is happening, even though you're working hard. These moments test your resolve, but they're also where faith in the process becomes essential. Good. You have to trust that what you're doing matters and that the results will come at the right time. Faith in the process also requires a shift in focus. Too often people fixate on the outcome, constantly measuring their progress against where they think they should be. This can lead to frustration, especially when the results don't come as quickly as expected. But progress isn't always linear, and success doesn't always follow a predictable timeline. When you shift your focus from the destination to the journey, you start to appreciate the small victories along the way. Each step forward, no matter how minor, is proof that you're moving in the right direction. The journey itself becomes a source of growth and fulfillment, not just a means to an end. There's a profound sense of freedom that comes with trusting the process. It allows you to let go of the need to control every detail and instead focus on what you can do today. Stress and anxiety often come from trying to force outcomes or worrying about things beyond your control. But when you have faith in the process, you can release that tension. You learn to take things one step at a time, knowing that each step is part of a greater plan. This doesn't mean you stop putting in effort or striving for excellence. It means you stop letting fear and doubt dictate your actions. One of the most beautiful aspects of trusting the process is that it teaches resilience. When you face setbacks or obstacles, it's easy to feel discouraged and question whether your efforts are worth it. But faith in the process reminds you that challenges are not the end, they're part of the journey. Each difficulty you encounter is an opportunity to grow stronger, learn new skills, and develop character. The very struggles that make you want to give up are often the ones that prepare you for what's ahead. Trusting the process means understanding that even in failure there is value. It's all part of the greater story being written in your life. Faith in the process also fosters consistency, which is one of the most critical factors in achieving long-term success. It's easy to stay motivated at the beginning of a journey when excitement and energy are high. But as time goes on and challenges arise, that initial enthusiasm can wane. Trusting the process helps you stay committed, even when the progress feels slow or the work becomes monotonous. It reminds you that greatness isn't built overnight. It's the result of showing up day after day, putting in the effort, and staying the course. Consistency compounds over time, turning small, steady actions into significant results. Another key element of faith in the process is embracing uncertainty. Life is full of unknowns, and no matter how well you plan, there will always be factors beyond your control. This can be unsettling, but it's also what makes the journey so meaningful. When you trust the process, you learn to embrace the uncertainty instead of fearing it. You understand that not knowing what's ahead doesn't mean you're lost. It simply means you're growing. Every twist and turn in the road is shaping you into the person you're meant to be, preparing you for opportunities you may not even see coming. Faith in the process also allows you to find joy in the present moment. When you're constantly chasing a future goal, it's easy to overlook the beauty and lessons of today. Trusting the process encourages you to slow down and appreciate where you are right now. Even if the path isn't easy, there is always something to be grateful for, something to learn and something to celebrate. By staying present and engaged, you not only make the journey more enjoyable, but also position yourself to recognize and seize opportunities as they arise. At its core, faith in the process is about believing in yourself and the work you're doing, even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's about trusting that every effort, every challenge, and every step forward is contributing to something greater. This belief sustains you through the ups and downs, giving you the strength to keep going when the road gets tough. Over time, you come to realize that the process itself is just as valuable, if not more so, than the destination. It's in the process that you grow, transform, and become who you're meant to be. Focus is one of the most potent tools you can harness to create meaningful progress in life. In a world filled with constant distractions, the ability to direct your attention toward a single goal or task is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. Focus is not just about working harder, it's about working smarter, channeling your energy into the areas that matter most. When you concentrate your efforts, you create momentum, amplify your productivity, and unlock a deeper level of creativity and clarity. In its simplest form, focus is about prioritization. It's the discipline to identify what truly matters and the courage to set aside what doesn't. Too often, people spread themselves thin, trying to do everything at once. This scattershot approach not only dilutes their efforts, but also creates unnecessary stress and frustration. By contrast, when you commit to focusing on one task or goal at a time, you can pour your full energy into it. This singular focus allows you to achieve a level of depth and mastery that is impossible when your attention is divided. One of the keys to harnessing focus is eliminating distractions. Distractions are everywhere. Emails, social media, notifications, and even our own wandering thoughts. Each interruption, no matter how small, pulls your attention away from what you're trying to accomplish and forces your brain to switch gears. This constant shifting not only wastes time, but also drains your mental energy. To stay focused, you need to create an environment that supports your efforts. This might mean silencing your phone, closing unnecessary tabs on your computer, or setting clear boundaries with others. When you take control of your environment, you make it easier to maintain your concentration and stay on track. Focus also requires clarity. You can't concentrate on what's important if you don't know what it is. Before you can harness the power of focus, you need to define your goals. What are you trying to achieve? Why does it matter? The clearer you are about your priorities, the easier it becomes to direct your energy toward them. Clarity acts as a compass, guiding your focus and helping you avoid distractions. Without it, you risk wasting time on activities that may feel urgent, but don't actually move you closer to your goals. Another critical aspect of focus is learning to say no. Every time you say yes to one thing, you are by default saying no to something else. This is especially important to remember when you're faced with opportunities or demands that don't align with your goals. It's tempting to try to do it all, but focus requires sacrifice. You have to be willing to let go of what's less important to make room for what truly matters. Saying no is not about being selfish or unhelpful. It's about protecting your time and energy so you can give your best to the things that matter most. Focus is not just about maintaining attention. It's also about sustaining effort over time. This is where consistency comes into play. It's not enough to be focused for a single day or week. Real progress requires long-term commitment. This can be challenging, especially when you don't see immediate results. But focus is a muscle that grows stronger with practice. The more you train yourself to stay engaged with your goals, the easier it becomes to sustain your efforts. Each day of focused work builds on the last, creating a compounding effect that leads to significant progress over time. Another benefit of focus is the way it enhances your problem-solving abilities. When you direct your attention to a specific challenge, your brain is able to dig deeper and think more creatively. This level of focus allows you to see connections and opportunities that might otherwise go unnoticed. By immersing yourself fully in the task at hand, you give yourself the space to think critically and come up with innovative solutions. In this way, focus not only helps you get things done, but also improves the quality of your work. Focus also has a powerful impact on your mental well-being. When you're scattered and trying to juggle too many things at once, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and anxious. But when you focus on one thing at a time, you create a sense of order and control. This doesn't mean everything will always go perfectly, but it does mean you'll be better equipped to handle challenges. Focus helps you stay grounded, reducing stress and allowing you to approach your work with a calm, clear mind. To harness the power of focus, it's essential to take care of yourself. Your ability to concentrate is directly influenced by your physical and mental state. If you're exhausted, stressed, or distracted, it will be much harder to stay focused. Prioritizing sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness can significantly enhance your ability to concentrate. Taking regular breaks is also crucial. They allow your mind to recharge and prevent burnout. Focus is not about working nonstop, it's about working effectively, and that requires balance. Ultimately, focus is a skill that anyone can develop with practice and intention. It's about choosing to direct your energy toward what truly matters and refusing to let distractions pull you off course. When you harness the power of focus, you unlock your full potential, enabling yourself to achieve more, grow faster, and experience greater satisfaction in your work and life. It's not always easy, but the rewards are worth the effort. Focus is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's the tool that turns dreams into reality and intentions into achievements. Resilience is not a trait that some are simply born with while others are left without. It is a quality that is cultivated and developed over time through experience, effort, and intentional practice. While some individuals may have certain predispositions that make them more naturally adaptable to challenges, true resilience is built by navigating adversity, learning from hardships, and developing the inner strength to keep moving forward despite setbacks. It's a process, not a predetermined characteristic, and anyone can grow their resilience with the right mindset and strategies. Building resilience starts with understanding that challenges are an inevitable part of life. No one is exempt from difficulties, whether they come in the form of personal struggles, professional setbacks, or unexpected crises. What sets resilient individuals apart is their ability to see these challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. They adopt a perspective that views adversity as temporary and solvable, even if the solution isn't immediately clear. This mindset doesn't eliminate the pain or difficulty of the moment, but it provides the foundation for moving through it with purpose and determination. A key component of resilience is self-awareness. To build resilience, you must first understand your own strengths, weaknesses, and emotional triggers. This requires honest reflection and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. By becoming more aware of how you respond to stress, fear, or failure, you can begin to identify patterns and habits that either support or hinder your resilience. Self-awareness allows you to take control of your reactions, shifting from impulsive, emotion-driven responses to thoughtful, deliberate actions that align with your values and goals. Another critical aspect of resilience is cultivating a sense of purpose. When you have a clear sense of what you're working toward or what you value most, it becomes easier to endure hardships along the way. A strong sense of purpose acts as an anchor, keeping you grounded and focused, even when circumstances feel chaotic or uncertain. It reminds you that the challenges you face are part of a larger journey and that your efforts, no matter how small, contribute to something meaningful. This sense of purpose not only motivates you to persevere, but also provides a framework for making decisions and prioritizing your energy. Resilience is also built through the development of problem-solving skills. Life's challenges often require creative thinking and adaptability to navigate successfully. Resilient people approach problems with curiosity and a willingness to explore multiple solutions. They don't allow fear of failure to paralyze them. Instead, they take action, experiment, and learn from their mistakes. Each problem they solve reinforces their confidence in their ability to handle future challenges. Over time, this builds a sense of competence and resourcefulness that becomes a cornerstone of their resilience. One of the most important yet often overlooked elements of resilience is the support of others. While resilience involves personal strength, it is not a solitary endeavor. Building resilience requires a strong network of supportive relationships, whether with family, friends, mentors, or colleagues that provide encouragement, perspective, and assistance when needed. These connections serve as a safety net during difficult times, reminding you that you don't have to face challenges alone. Resilient people are not afraid to reach out for help or lean on others, understanding that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a step toward growth. The ability to regulate emotions is another vital skill in building resilience. Life's challenges often bring intense feelings of frustration, sadness, anger, or fear. Resilient individuals acknowledge these emotions without letting them dictate their actions. They practice techniques like mindfulness, deep breathing, or journaling to process their feelings and maintain a sense of calm in the face of adversity. Emotional regulation allows them to respond to challenges with clarity and composure rather than being overwhelmed by negative emotions. Over time, this ability to manage emotions becomes a powerful tool for navigating life's ups and downs. Building resilience also requires embracing failure as a natural and valuable part of the process. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is often a stepping stone toward it. Resilient people view failure as an opportunity to learn and improve rather than as a reflection of their worth or abilities. They understand that setbacks are temporary and that each failure brings lessons that can be applied to future efforts. By reframing failure in this way, they develop a mindset of perseverance and adaptability that strengthens their resilience over time. Physical and mental self-care also play a crucial role in developing resilience. Your ability to handle stress and adversity is closely linked to your overall well-being. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, sufficient sleep, and mindfulness practices all contribute to a stronger, more resilient mind and body. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury, but a necessity when it comes to building resilience. It ensures that you have the energy and focus needed to face challenges and recover from setbacks. Resilience is not something that happens overnight. It is the result of consistent effort, reflection, and growth. It is built one step at a time through the choices you make and the actions you take every day. Whether it's learning to regulate your emotions, seeking support from others, or finding purpose in your struggles, each effort you make contributes to your capacity to bounce back from adversity. Over time, these practices become habits, and those habits form the foundation of a resilient mindset. Resilience is built, not born, and it is within everyone's reach to develop the strength to face life's challenges with courage and determination.